GenAI and MLOps Part 27. This episode has 5 questions. For each question, take a moment to think through your own answer before I share a strong approach. Question 1. Explain quantization. Here's a strong way to approach it. Quantization is a model optimization technique in machine learning where high-precision numerical values, such as 32-bit floating point numbers, FP32, are converted into lower precision formats like int8 or FP16. The main goal of quantization is to reduce model size, improve inference speed, lower memory usage, and optimize deployment on resource-constrained devices. Quantization is widely used in edge AI devices, mobile applications, real-time inference systems, embedded systems, large-scale production inference. How quantization works. During quantization, model weights and sometimes activations are represented using fewer bits while trying to preserve model accuracy. Example: FP32 int8 conversion reduces memory usage by approximately 4 times. Types of quantization. 1. Post-training quantization, PTQ. Quantization applied after model training, easy and fast implementation. 2. Quantization-aware training, CAT. Model is trained while simulating quantization effects, provides better accuracy compared to PTQ. 3. Dynamic quantization. Quantization happens dynamically during inference. 4. Static quantization. Activations and weights are quantized beforehand using calibration datasets. Benefits of quantization: faster inference, smaller model size, lower memory consumption, reduced power usage, better hardware efficiency. Challenges: possible accuracy degradation, hardware compatibility considerations, additional calibration and testing requirements. Popular tools and frameworks: TensorFlow Lite, PyTorch. Quantization, TensorRT-ONNX, Runtime, OpenVINO. From an MLOps perspective, quantization is an important inference optimization technique for deploying scalable and efficient AI models in cloud, edge, and mobile environments. Nice. Let's continue. Question 2. What is pruning in ML? Here's a strong way to approach it. Pruning in machine learning is a model optimization technique where unnecessary or less important parameters, weights, neurons, or connections are removed from a neural network to make the model smaller and more efficient. The main goal of pruning is to reduce model complexity while maintaining acceptable accuracy. Pruning is commonly used to optimize deep learning models for faster inference, reduced memory usage, lower storage requirements, efficient edge and mobile deployment. How pruning works: during training or after training, the model identifies weights or neurons that contribute very little to predictions and removes them. For example, very small weight values close to 0 are removed, unused neurons or channels are eliminated. Types of pruning. 1. Weight pruning removes individual low-importance weights. 2. Neuron pruning removes entire neurons from the network. 3. Structured pruning removes filters, channels, or layers in a structured way, more hardware efficient. 4. Unstructured pruning removes random individual weights, achieves higher compression but less hardware optimization. Benefits of pruning: smaller model size, faster inference time, reduced computational cost, lower power consumption, better deployment efficiency on edge devices. Challenges: potential loss of model accuracy, requires fine-tuning after pruning, hardware optimization. Limitations for unstructured pruning. Popular tools and frameworks: TensorFlow Model Optimization Toolkit, PyTorch. Pruning, TensorRT, OpenVINO. From an MLOps perspective, pruning is an important inference optimization technique used to deploy lightweight, scalable, and high-performance AI models in production systems. Great. Moving on. Question 3. Explain distributed inference. Here's a strong way to approach it. Distributed inference is a technique where machine learning model predictions are processed across multiple machines, GPUs, or servers instead of a single system to improve scalability, throughput, and performance. It is mainly used for serving large AI models or handling high volumes of inference requests in production environments. In distributed inference, incoming prediction requests are distributed across multiple compute resources so that inference workloads can run in parallel. Why distributed inference is needed? Large language models, LLMs, are too large for one GPU. High traffic applications require low latency. Real-time AI systems need scalable prediction. Serving enterprise systems require high availability and fault tolerance. Common distributed inference approaches. 1. Data parallel inference. Multiple replicas of the same model handle different inference requests simultaneously. 2. Model parallel inference. Different parts of the model are distributed across multiple GPUs or nodes, useful for very large models. 3. Pipeline parallelism. Model layers are split into stages across devices for sequential processing. 4. Batch inference distribution. Large batches are divided and processed across distributed systems. Benefits: improved throughput, reduced inference latency, better scalability, high availability, efficient GPU utilization. Challenges: network communication overhead, synchronization complexity, load balancing issues, infrastructure cost management. Popular tools and frameworks: TensorRT, RayServe, Kserve, TorchServe, TensorFlow. Serving deep speed Kubernetes. From an MLOps perspective, distributed inference is critical for deploying large-scale, low-latency, and highly available AI systems in enterprise and cloud environments. Alright, next question. Question 4. What is EdgeML? Here's a strong way to approach it. EdgeML, edge machine learning, is the practice of running machine learning models directly on edge devices such as mobile phones, IoT devices, cameras, sensors, drones, or embedded systems instead of relying entirely on centralized cloud servers. In EdgeML, data is processed locally on the device where it is generated, enabling faster and more efficient real-time predictions. Common EdgeML devices: smartphones, smart cameras, IoT sensors, autonomous vehicles, smartwatches, industrial devices, drones. Benefits of EdgeML: 1. Low latency, real-time inference without sending data to the cloud. 2. Reduced bandwidth usage, less network communication required. 3. Improved privacy, sensitive data remains on the local device. 4. Offline capability, works even without internet connectivity. 5. Cost optimization, reduces cloud processing costs. Challenges: limited CPU, GPU, and memory resources, battery and power constraints, model size limitations, device compatibility issues, difficult remote monitoring and updates, common optimization techniques, quantization, pruning, knowledge distillation, hardware acceleration. Popular frameworks and tools: TensorFlow Lite, ONNX Runtime, OpenVINO Core ML, NVIDIA TensorRT. Common use cases: face recognition, voice assistance, predictive maintenance, autonomous driving, smart surveillance, healthcare monitoring. From an MLOps perspective, EdgeML requires efficient model packaging, lightweight deployment, remote device management, monitoring, and continuous model update strategies for large-scale distributed edge environments. Let's keep going. Question 5. Explain federated learning. Here's a strong way to approach it. Federated learning is a machine learning approach where models are trained across multiple devices or systems without transferring raw data to a central server. Instead of sharing data, each device trains the model locally and only sends model updates or gradients to a central server for aggregation. This helps improve privacy and data security. Federated learning is commonly used in mobile devices, healthcare systems, banking and finance, IoT environments, edge AI applications. How federated learning works: 1. Central server sends the initial model to devices. 2. Each device trains the model locally using its own data. 3. Devices send model updates, not raw data. 4. Central server aggregates updates to create a global model. 5. Updated global model is redistributed to devices. Benefits: better data privacy, reduced data transfer to cloud, compliance with regulations like GDPR, real-time personalized learning, supports distributed edge environments. Challenges: communication overhead, device heterogeneity, slow or unreliable devices, security attacks on model updates, complex synchronization. Types of federated learning: 1. Cross-device federated learning, large number of edge devices participate. 2. Cross-silo federated learning, multiple organizations collaboratively train models. Popular frameworks and tools: TensorFlow, Federated, PySift, Flower, NVIDIA Flare. Common use cases: smartphone keyboard prediction, personalized recommendations, medical AI collaboration across hospitals, fraud detection across banks. From an MLOps perspective, federated learning introduces additional requirements for distributed orchestration, secure aggregation, monitoring, model versioning, and scalable edge device management. On to the next one. That wraps up this episode. Nice work practicing, and see you in the next one.